Okay, good morning, dear young minds, boys and girls. It's my absolute pleasure talking to a group of business students about business. To start with today's presentation, I would like to talk about this game theory called finite and infinite game. This particular theory had been coined by a professor by name James Cars. James Cars' theory has been cited 1,301 times in scholarly articles on Google Scholar. Very, very interesting, very, very powerful. That game theory is a finite versus infinite players. Finite players are defined as known players, a fixed set of rules, and the objective is agreed upon. For example, football. You know who your opinion is, and the rule is at the end of 90 minutes, there will be a winner as well as a loser or a draw. On the other hand, infinite player is defined as known versus unknown players. The rules are also fixed but changeable. And the objective of the game is to keep the game going. Indeed, it is to perpetuate the game. For example, Apple and Samsung. Because there is no winner and loser. And the situation will be such that either one of the parties will run out of the will or run out of the resources. When finite versus infinite players are put together, there is a problem. And that is the case between US and Vietnamese war. Vietnamese were fighting for their life, whilst US armies, they are fighting to win. There is a problem, and same applies to Afghan and Soviet Union war. So take this perspective into current business context. You don't know who your opinion is. When you don't know who your opinion is, you don't know what set of rules you are playing on, and there is no predefined objectives. So, if we draw a conclusion, or if we try to relate this situation in current business context, you don't know who your opinion is. No one is operating under a set of rules. Things change overnight. Even so is because of the intervention of technologies. Things change overnight. Whatever you have learned yesterday sometimes cannot be applied today or tomorrow. It is a very, very volatile market. That's why you have to understand in what kind of market you are operating. And this is the problem with the 21st century business world. And you have to take into considerations what are the obstacles which is beyond your control. Therefore, it is very, very important for you to understand the business economics. And I'm very happy that business economics has been included as one of the modules in your course. Business economics, very, very important. What does that economy mean? Can anyone give me a definition of what economics means? Anyone, please? Anyone? Don't have to be a perfect answer. Okay, if you don't have a definition, economics is a social science. That is the definition given by Investopedia. By the way, Investopedia is the world's largest encyclopedia for the businesses and finances. Take a note. Investopedia is the biggest encyclopedia online for business and finance. And they say economic is a social science which focuses on production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services. And the study of economy is primarily concerned about the choices that the individual, businesses, household, government, and nation is making to utilize the limited resources. This is the economics. And by definition, the word economy had been derived from a Greek or Latin word called oikonomia or oikonomos, meaning household management. for economic activity to happen, money has to flow from rich to poor or poor to rich. When the equilibrium is achieved, there is no economy. And this is the situation that we are in currently. Not only us, all the developing nations post-pandemic, we are stuck in this quagmire. So, it is very important what are the choices that you are making. When you play in the business world, you have to understand about wealth distribution. Look at this one. The world's GDP, 105 trillion economy. When you go to the business world, when you are exploring the businesses, at EduPro and Kingston, we do have 10 members who are working behind the scene as part of research and development. And these are the figures that we got from our R&D team. And when you are exploring something like this, look at this. USA with a GDP size of 26.9 trillion, followed by China, 19.43, Japan, third, fourth, India. Our neighbor India is also doing great. So if you want to do a business, focus on where the money is or where the wealth is. This is very, very important barometer for you to take into consideration. You know, Donald Trump during parliamentary election 2017 said he want to throw out all the illegal immigrants. He couldn't do that. It's not that he couldn't do that, but he couldn't afford to do this because 22 million immigrants. Doesn't matter whether you have money or not. US, they have money. But as per the economic definition, for economics to keep happening, they also need these immigrants, which delivers products and services. You have learned in economics, right? Demand and supply curve. If there is only demand, who is going to supply? And those 22 million people are giving them the required services. So because of which, economics is very, very important. And today's world is a run. Everyone is competing for one thing against each other. And there is a very, very popular saying in our Kurteb language. Nyewa lomda, lomwa joda. What does that mean? When everyone is in the race, even if you can't run, you try to walk. If you can't walk, at least crawl. Otherwise, you will go hungry. Because the pattern, it says, and the fact is that 10% wealthy people control 75% of the world's wealth. So there you go. The answer is there. One may see someone doing great, including the topmost richest person in the world. Who is the richest person in the world at the moment? Is it Jeff Bezos? Or is it Arnold and family? Or is it Elon Musk? No, it's not Elon Musk. I checked this morning and it is the owner of Leviton. Second, Elon Musk. But these people have a brain which can dictate what to do. They are worth $200 billion. They are worth $200 billion. But in practical, if you go and ask for $2 billion, they won't have this money. That is only on book. If we request or if we ask Elon Musk to give us the cash, 12 to 13 or at the max 14 to 15 billion dollars is the only cash he has. Where are other amounts coming from? It's all fools like us playing on the stock market. It's a stock exchange. So, this is the biggest game that you have to know. See here, the world's largest stock exchange is US, $52.6 trillion, followed by China, $11.5 trillion, Japan, India, France, UK, so forth and so on. If you are working towards a target to list a company on this stock exchange, overnight, you can get rich. Overnight, you can become millionaire. Very easy. But you need to know the gameplay. So it's very important as a business student, as an accounting student, as a finance student, you take a wisdom on this. Very important. You will make money out of this, not by selling products and services. And next slide, if you don't believe, let's check it out. Apple, the richest company in the world. Look at this. Apple is worth $2.83 trillion. Fiscal year 2023. Because they are public, we can get all this information online. 383 billion in total revenue. Where are this big chunk coming? The answer is there. They have watched the stock price going roughly from $18 per share to the way to its all-time as high as 119. And the value they are recording on the book is gain in capital. So there is the play. We are part of this game. And we know for a fact, US is 9 hours behind Bhutan. Japan, third largest stock exchange. They are 5 hours ahead of us, making life decision about us. And we fools sleeping here. We cannot afford to do this. This is a very, very unique one. What can you see here? What's that? Chinese bamboo tree. This is a very, very unique one. Chinese bamboo tree, it takes 5 years to grow. But every day, you are required to nurture, water, fertilize. But until the 5th year, you won't see any sign of growth. 4 years, it will remain dormant. But in the 5th year, once it starts coming out, within 5 weeks, Chinese bamboo tree will grow 90 feet tall. But the fact and the question is, if someone is not nurturing, do you think that Chinese bamboo tree will grow that height? No. And I have seen in the past, people talking about the same thing. They don't realize what you are doing. And some people may say that, where is the result? You have been working on this for quite long now. And the talk outside, talk in the neighbors is you growing Chinese bamboo tree. But if you keep on investing, if you keep on working, if you keep on pushing your wills, one day that will get into action. And when you get into action, and you will be able to see a result. And this is exactly what I have worked on. Next slide, please. This is my house. Not so long ago, this is still there. I come from this. I started from this. Step number 1. If you want to know more about me, I have given the similar lecture at CNR. Maybe you can go and watch this. This is where I have started my journey. With a very limited support system, no exposure, no electricity, no access to roads. This is me. When I was in class 7, Tangmocho High School. My mother and my sister, they are the ones who have helped me to educate. And I'm very thankful to them as well as to His Majesty the King and the Royal Government of Bhutan for making this education system in Bhutan free. If it is not for a reason that we do have access to a free education, I may not be in the position where I am today. It was very difficult. Australia is not an easy place. Very difficult. I would have cleaned at least 500 homes in Australia. to just start my business. I've started calculating and I'm not getting rich by any ways. Because of which, I started investing in myself. Investing in yourself is very, very important. And this is what I did. Next, please. Look at this. First and foremost thing, for anyone or for someone to follow you, your vocal image is very important. You need to be able to effectively communicate. I was not speaking English until 2014. I have taken inspiration from this guy. If you are fond of watching UFC, he is the commentator there. I'm interested in WWE, not because I like fighting. It's not that. I was interested because I know this is a play, and it is an argumentative play. And then when they perform, when they come on the stage, they need to deliver. And their English is laser focused, very much content oriented. And I am interested in becoming pilot. I wanted to be pilot, but I couldn't be. But that didn't stop me. Because of my interest, there is no air crash investigation that I haven't watched on the National Geographic television. I was doing that on purpose. I'm interested in becoming pilot, but at the same time, I want to improve my English. Because these National Geography people, they're very specialized. When they have to reduce everything in 45 minutes, you get to learn about a lot of technical terms there. I have always been receiving a compliment. You're looking good. You're dressing well. And I dress for two reasons. To create an impression on others. That's number one. Number two, I dress well to get self-confidence. It is not for any other reasons. That was in 2014. Before 2014, I couldn't afford to buy luxurious brands or luxurious clothes. But after being in Australia, for me to look good, this is what I looked at. The way they dress, the way they keep their hairs, sometimes it suits you, sometimes it doesn't. This is a trial and error. Early 2015, look at this, me. And who is other? Tom Cruise. Is it Tom Cruise? What's his name? Brad Pitt. Look at Brad Pitt. I was copying him one point in time. So this is the process that I have gone through, shaping myself into today's form. It is only on 13th September 2015 I could afford to buy a suit. Starting from there, I started wearing suit and boot because I was able to create an impression with good vocal image, with good presentation yourself. When people are readily listening to me, and this is where I thought that I'm ready to start a business. I have picked up on opportunity. In the today's world, there are employers who are finding difficulty getting skilled employee. On the other hand, there are employees who are actively seeking for a job, can't find one. So there is a business opportunity in matching and filling this gap. And this is what I have worked on. This is where EducationPro started germinating. Job seekers versus employers. Skills versus qualification. So this is the business opportunity that I have been hanging on. So this is the time where I was growing Chinese bamboo tree. And look at this now. 2024, Tandin. I have worked for this and I proclaim this with pride and inspiration from His Majesty the King. His Majesty said, it's possible. I was working from that day onwards. I was working day and night and it was possible. We have won 7 global awards last year. That's the result. And that's not the end. One day we are going to list EducationPro Group Private Limited on Australian Stock Exchange. And this is our team. So we have taken a lot of time, a lot of energy, and this is what we have been able to build. We have the greatest asset, a big team. Right hand, EducationPro Bhutan. Left hand, Kingston International College in Australia. We do have our offices in Vietnam. We do have our offices in Malaysia. We also have a partner offices in Korea. Today, we have entered Southeast Asian market. Soon, we are going to tap on Middle East. Then, from there, we will enter in Central Asia. We have already worked on that strategy. Once we are done with South American market, we will be done and dusted. So that is the goal that we are working on. All right. So this is who we are. We are 70% shareholder of Kingston International College. 100% EducationPro Group Pty Ltd in Australia. 50% shareholder of Blue Puppy Limited in United Kingdom, UK. That Blue Puppy is mainly responsible for aging care, home care, and then summer camps. We do get a lot of students from China to UK on summer camps. And this is what Blue Puppy is responsible for. And we are also 35% shareholder of PTC Investment Limited. That is in Australia. That's not all. We do have tourism, we do have fintech, and we do have training and ticketing services also. It's a business in box. This is another business opportunity that we are working on. And we are the exclusive dealers in Bhutan as well as North India. This is Flywire. Do you know what Flywire is? Don't know? Heard of it? Okay. Flywire is one of the companies, fintech companies, and their business is to facilitate money transfer from one country to another. They entered in the market. Flywire was incepted only in 2009. And now they are operating in more than 240 countries, and they hold 140 different currencies as digital assets. And you may be wondering how they are making money. Because they are not charging any service charge. For example, if you are doing a fund transfer from Bank of Bhutan to Australia or to Canada or to US, elsewhere in the world, with this fintech, you're not required to make any additional payments. If you are transferring $100, on the receiver end, you will also receive $100. But you may be wondering how they are making money. They have designed a special algorithm which dictates when to hold the digital asset, when to sell the digital asset, because they have a liberty of holding on 140 different currencies. You know the currency market, right? Exchange rate goes up, exchange rate goes down. Digital asset. So when we are transferring, the system will dictate whether this particular money, USD settlement, should be done immediately or hold on to and transfer from their reserve account. This is what this system is doing. And as a promoter, as a business partner to fintech, to Flywire, I am also personally working on how to get Niltam on that trading platform. That's one of the goals that I have in my mind, so that we can pay back to our country. So you may be thinking that it's a very big business plan, you don't have resources, or you may be thinking that it's something beyond your imagination. But this is what we have, which others doesn't have. You have to take pride into this. How many English-speaking countries are in this world? Only 6. US, UK, Canada, New Zealand, and Ireland. Only 6 countries in the world. And going by the statistics, income statistics there, wealth statistics there, you have already seen wealthy countries are all those English-speaking countries. So we can take a leverage on this. English. I would easily say that Bhutan will be in the top 10 English-speaking country in the world rank. We will be easily in top 10. And thanks goes to our visionary, His Majesties. They have seen from a long time and put and agreed upon English as a medium of teaching and instruction in Bhutanese education system. And because of which, we are able to speak, we are able to listen, we are able to write, we are able to read. And if trade has to happen, English, we have a good human resources here who can speak very well. Have you been to Thailand? Or have you been to Vietnam, or Malaysia, or Korea, or Japan? Very difficult to communicate. And those multinational companies coming from English-speaking countries are looking and trapping on someone who can speak English. And there is a homework for us. Peace and tranquility. You cannot find anywhere else but in Bhutan. We do have that. Political stability is one of the deciding factors for multinational companies to come and invest in your country. We don't have political turmoil. We are very consistent, safe environment. The other one, the great vision of fifth king, Gelifu Mindfulness City. So Gelifu Mindfulness City will create a lot of employment opportunity for us. What you need to do? You just need to skill up so that you fit there. That is the only thing I can say as of now. Many things are going to happen there, but for us to fit in that kind of society. We don't want to study to become a dasho. We don't want to study something which doesn't lead to employment. You need to have a skill set which can bring in income so that you are fit for that kind of city. That is what you should start working on now. In the world, there are big 4 companies, accounting and auditing firm. I'm very interested talking to students like you, who comes from an accounting background, who comes from a finance background. Deloitte, number 1. KPMG, number 2. EY, number 3. Number 4, PwC, Pricewaterhouse Corporations. Overall, they hold assets of almost $150 billion. And they are looking for accounting experts like yourself. And it's my wish if we can invite anyone from big 4 companies to operate here in Bhutan. I can educate you. I can train you to that level. 1,000 people from Bhutanese community will get to work as an accountant for this kind of big companies stationed in Bhutan. How many of you are accounting students? Accounting students? No, I'm not going to ask the question. This is for you. How many of you are accounting students? If you are accounting students, I'll quote you one example. We have 4 graduates, 4 alumni from Gedu College working with us. We have tasked Tandin to look after our accounting here in Bhutan. Initially, when she came there, of course she has a book knowledge, but our systems are all computerized. Computerized meaning you just need to update the books. And she doesn't have that skills that time. It took at least 1 year for her to reach up to that skill level. Today I said, Tandin, even if you are leaving, I have no regret. Because I know for a reason, she will be able to make herself saleable in the market. Not here in Bhutan, in other country also. Because in other country also, they are doing the same job, same task, what Tandin is doing here in Bhutan. So because of which, it is very, very important to have a qualification. But more than qualification, are you job ready? When you pass out from this college, are you job ready? If you are given a task, do you think that you can deliver? It is not manual. That has long time gone now. You have to work on the computers. And I don't know whether you have a computing system, softwares that has been taught side by side to your main curriculum. If you don't have that, these are the best performing softwares worldwide. QuickBooks from SME, small and medium enterprise. Worldwide, they are using that software called QuickBooks and also Zero accounting software. If you have no knowledge about or information on this, please put a note and do a research yourself. And there is also another software called Zoho. They are also very, very popular, developed by Indian again. So if you have certifications on this one and put yourself, how many of you have LinkedIn profile? Okay, you're already almost there. If you don't have LinkedIn account, LinkedIn, everywhere you go on a business platform, first thing first, they will ask for a LinkedIn profile. When you have LinkedIn profile, and if you possess this kind of skill set, you will be there. You'll get a job. And there is another online platform called Upwork. Upwork is an online platform where employers come in, where employees enroll there, and they will see your capacities. At present in the market, you can see a lot of agents, brokers. You will see that, what they are doing. What they are doing. They buy from someone else. For example, they buy a car. They improvise something else and then they sell it to others. Does it create a value in it? There is no value created. But you as a finance student, you as an accountant, you will be able to add a value. So there is an opportunity here. There are different players. In this, if you want to start a brokerage firm, in Bhutan at the moment, brokers are doing very, very little. And you can do it differently because you have ideas, you have skills, and you have the knowledge how to execute. In the brokerage firm, there are 4 major players. Bankers, they will lend it to you as long as it is backed up with the collateral because they want interest. Number 1. Number 2, there is a seller who also aims at making profit on sale. There is a broker in between who will be doing a job in exchange of commission. Who is paying the final one? It's only buyers. Buyers end up paying. But as a buyers, there are other aspects which you can leverage on. Sometimes government taxation policies are very friendly. You can rely on that. Sometimes the interest rate are very different. At the moment, people are only concerned about the interest rate. But interest rate is not the only deciding factors. When interest goes up, lending goes down because people don't want to take a risk. That's why lending down and no housing or no investment is happening. So supply becomes very short. So when demand is high, supply is very short, you can increase your price and you can make the same profit. It is not only about interest that dictates everything. And when you are going in a financial market, under the interest rate, there are different calculations. IRR, internal rate of return, required rate of return, the number of compounding periods, payment plans, TMV, time value of money, NPV, net present value of future cash flow. That is the ultimate calculation that you will have to compare. And everything has to equate with NPV, net present value of future cash flow. As long as your investment is making sense, it's over 1. You should go for investment. And what is this? Shit. Did you say shit? When I asked my friend, they are saying this is a cake. And now you are saying shit. The simple logic behind is it's an emoji. Why I'm interested talking about emoji? Have you ever thought people won't have time? This is the symbol of market convergence. Everyone is coming on what platform? Emoji. You cannot write shit, whatever. But when you send this emoji, you see people on the other end is angry, not thinking good about you. And for your information, there are around 3,782 emojis developed so far. Doesn't matter whether you speak Korean, whether you speak Chinese, or whether you speak English or Bhutanese, whatever. Emoji is an international language. During our children time, they will be learning emoji. So which means globally, the market is becoming one. Everything is standardized. Apple, everyone knows. Samsung, everyone knows. Nokia, Motorola used to be very, very popular during our time. What had happened? It is all because of the economy of scale. And if you are very much interested in accounting, finances, you don't have to work from scratch. We cannot compete those big giants. Very difficult. We cannot compete with them because they have already invested billions and billions of dollars in time. And you are talking about developing everything from scratch. By the time you reach somewhere else, you will be already drained out of resources, out of will. That's why I was talking about that will and resources. So good thing about you is if you are studying IT, information technology, if you are studying accounting, better you specialize on what is already existent. Take this and use this to your advantage. And I think you will be able to make something out of this. And these are the opportunities. If you stop working on your dreams, no one can make it happen. It's only you. It's only you who can make it happen. My dear friends, my dear boys and girls, please remember, the darkest night produces the brightest stars. And my dear stars, don't forget, the light which shines within cannot be dimmed by anyone else. If you're born poor, that's not your problem. If you die poor, I don't have anything to say. Let's think big and let's go global. Thank you so much.